I mean, so you talked about, culture and social pressure, and this is something I wanted to ask you about. So, for example, you have a lot of female athletes.
Yes.
So you know that, in Lebanon, most of us come from conservative or religious communities, and getting up on stage, in a bikini, showing your physique, a lot of people see it as something sexual.
Yes.
So, I know for me, for example, I did go through a lot of mental and social pressures. So how do you deal with these pressures when it comes to your athletes?
For me, anyway, to have the right to go through these things with my athletes, I have to consider them close friends. So this is what I try to build. This is why I try to build this relation with them. Because if your athlete is not confident enough or comfortable enough for him or for her to talk to you about this, especially girls, you'll never know. And you'll have an athlete trying to follow your diet and your training, when at the same time
they're very stressed.
They're very stressed from their home.
Right.
So the place where they're supposed to rest. So this is why it's very important to create this confidence and this trust with your athletes, so she can feel really comfortable talking to you and giving you all the insights about her life. This will make it easier for me to give her the right advice and to try to keep pushing it. Because anyway, I'm a big advocate of our parents are important, but our dreams are much more important. For me, I would never advise someone to follow their parents' advice and, for example, not competing or not studying music because their parents don't want it. Because the mistake is on the parents, not on us. If my dream is to be, I don't know, a ballerina even, it's not my parents' job to tell me. It's not my parents' job to tell me not to do it.
Yeah.
It's my personal choice. If this is the case, I try to keep the athlete confident that she's not doing a wrong thing, that she's doing what she wants. And about what you told me, it's looked at as a sexual sign or whatever.
Yeah.
In our society, anything can be considered sexual. Anything I don't know, a girl on a swimsuit on a pool. For some guys, this is sexual.
Right.
And it's all relative. You cannot adhere to a society who's built in a wrong way. I just push my athlete not to fall into this, because our society is really it's really confusing things.
And they make you feel guilty for things that you are doing.
Exactly, and sometimes they do it on purpose because, unfortunately, evil exists. Some people, they don't want to see you winning, they don't want to see you feeling good, they want to see you feeling happy. So they try to bring you down. And for a female who's doing it for the first time, who's a young lady trying to show that she can do it, when her relatives or her friends are trying to tell her, what are you doing, this is wrong, and this will destroy her. So it's very important for you as a coach not only to give the diet and just, do the diet. If your coach only does this, he's not your coach. You can go online and get a training program.
Right.
And even a coach is not someone who will just fix your technique while training. A coach is someone who will create this mindset for you to win. And this is why, again, a prep coach for bodybuilding has to endure, or at least once or twice in his life, this feeling. Or else, in my opinion, it's impossible to coach someone. It's impossible.
Because you need to acknowledge all the stressors and
exactly.
where you come from and everything.
And especially we're not in the United States. We're not in Europe, where these social limitations exist less, to say the least. In some countries they don't even exist. We are in a country where
we are
it is, yes, we try to show that we are a very open-minded country when we are not. We're not at all. We're still sexist, racist, and racist to the extreme parts of it, religious. It's not only about color and it's about nationalities. It's about your religion. So in such a society, you cannot be just this coach who just gives the plan.
Right.
You have to help them and to be strong enough also, because you also as a coach will be facing problems at the same time. But you have to know how to not show it to your athlete. You have to show them that whatever is happening, you can continue. This is why I think a coach needs to be really strong mentally. You cannot show that, fine, on my first obstacle, I will give up. Because at the end of the day, your athlete is looking up to you. Even if they don't want to look like you, but they're supposed to learn from you. You're someone who's teaching them life lessons. Not only, for me, my biggest success would be if I coach someone and then she or he is able to continue by themselves. And if I can create this mindset and I see they can continue by themselves, for me, it's the biggest success. I don't want my athlete to be dependent for life. for me. This is a success for a coach, not. But again, here comes the ethics, because some coaches want this so they can continue to get paid, unfortunately.
I think it's very important for a coach to be culturally competent. So like I'm working with you now, and before when I was working with a British coach, like now I see a big difference because you know where I come from and you understand the culture that I come from. And before I didn't have that, so I felt like I was alone.
Exactly. Me, for example, now my coach is an American. He's one of the best in the world. And it was really hard to try to explain for him what I'm facing right now in the economic situation in Lebanon, so he can change my diet. But at the end of the day, he understood, and we adhered to what I can do right now because the situation completely changed. When for me, for example, for all my athletes, I changed their diets based on that, because some things got extremely expensive. You cannot ask your athlete to keep eating the same way because this is the plan. Like, you have to change. If I was like, I don't know, from a British coach and my athlete is in Lebanon, I wouldn't understand what he's facing. I wouldn't care. So yes, understanding the culture of your athlete is really important. And being ethical, because sometimes you understand the culture but you just don't care.
So Charbel, tell me, what are like the most common mistakes that you see athletes doing before or after a competition?
While preparing for a competition, like the first thing that pops to my mind, high repetitions to get shredded. I don't know who is behind this. I really don't know. But now at this time it makes me laugh. Because like in 2020, I can't believe, like, you just go to Google and search, and you'll easily find that repetitions have nothing to do with you getting shredded or not. It's your diet. And the sad thing is, once I was talking to a pro in Lebanon, a pro bodybuilder, who was on an Olympian stage.
Wow.
And he preached. That time I went to his gym just to be able to use a certain machine. And when I was talking to him, I was prepping for a competition. He told me, okay, so now you're prepping for a competition. And I already had my coach, but I don't want to tell him because it would touch his ego. He told me, you will be having to do a lot of superset and drop sets and a lot of repetitions. So I told him yes, of course. I didn't go through this with him. But in my mind, I said, like, this guy is representing the sport in the world, and this is the way he preaches getting shredded. So now I started understanding from where it comes in the world. It's all this old school mentality. Yes, you can do high reps, but this is not what's getting. It's not like if you do more reps, you get more shredded. No, you can build muscle doing like 20 reps or 25 reps, and you can get bigger doing that. It's your diet.
Yeah.
But because also higher reps makes you feel good and pumped and all these things, and people chase pump because they think that being like the pump feeling is the only thing that creates muscles when it's not also. So this is the first mistake. Another mistake would be like stopping carbs completely at 12 weeks out, for example, for girls.
12 weeks out is
I don't know why.
Long time.
I don't know why. And for guys, completely dropping fats.
You know, it's some people are still doing that.
Yes, I do my best when I meet. I'm not someone who talks a lot on social media, but when I meet people in life, I try to like to rely my message, because it's sad. Yeah. Because bodybuilding is not stupid. You're not supposed to do stupid things. You're not supposed, and like when I started, social media was not that strong. Now it's really a platform where you can really learn faster. Like, I don't know why would a girl believe her coach and stop carbs at 12 weeks out. And I really don't know why. There's no reason for that. No, it's like zero reason, unless there are health issues. Like she's, I don't know, she has severe diabetes, then maybe. I'm saying maybe because also then she's able to eat carbs if the plan is smart enough. Another mistake would be like you have to do cardio either fasted, either post-workout. Now, you have to understand that the only reason we do cardio fasted is because it's mentally better, like you get rid of it in the morning. And it is better recovery-wise for you to rest more, but if you cannot do it except post-training, then you can do it. But some coaches, like, they go really furious about and against their athletes, like, why you're not doing fasted cardio? This is not, you're not be ready. No, they're not ready because your plan sucks. It's not because they're not doing the fasted cardio. Yeah. And these are the mistakes that pop to my mind. And yes, and like you have to do a lot of machines and cable work if you are preparing for a competition. So I see guys, for example, do 6 exercises on a cable cross machine. I don't know from where they get this creative, but they manage like to do 6 different chest exercises on a cable crossover machine, like for the pump. What pump are you like? Already you don't have enough muscles, and now you're depleting yourself even more. And then you wonder why you look flat. Because your coach made you lose your muscles while preparing. You're already on a deficit of calories, and you're losing a ton of calories doing your cardio and in your training, then this is why you lose muscles.
And what about after the competition? Like we talked about binging.
After the competition, they directly stopped cardio, and for a certain, like after a competition, you're supposed to recover. Like this is common sense. When you go through a very severe thing, you're supposed to recover. Now, of course, there's a rebound phase, but the rebound phase, if it's smart enough, it should consider the recovery thing. Like a smart rebound phase, you can be training 3 days a week and still gaining muscles in that phase, not killing yourself. Like, I finished my competition, I want to go train every day now, and I will do more cardio, and this is nonsense.
Yeah. I think it's important for athletes to separate like their emotions from the plan.
Yeah, this is also important. This is why mental health is a big issue. Because it's not about doing what you like. For me personally, the hardest thing in bodybuilding was to learn to rest. Because I had this hardcore mindset that I don't rest, and I learned that this is the only way to recover and grow. And my coach now challenges me to take days off. This is how I built them. Like for me, taking a day off is a challenge. And for a lot of bodybuilders, so you have also to teach them that, okay, we love to train, but you also love to grow. This is why you're not supposed to compete every year, for example, like because you won't grow. If your goal is only competing, then fine. If your goal is to win and get bigger and bigger and bigger, then you have to take off seasons. And this is something you'll face with any competitive athlete because they love competing. But then here, as a coach, you have to make it clear for them. Okay, listen, you just want to compete or you want to get better. There's a certain physique you want to attain, right or not? If yes, then you have to quit competing for at least 2-3 years.
And that's hard for an athlete.
Of course. At the end of the day, this is your job as a coach. Like it's not only on the athlete, yes, you have to, because also as a coach you make more money prepping for a competition. Because usually you charge more for a prep, because the check-ins are like more frequent and all that. So, and the athlete will even stay more dependent and more in need of you. So some coaches, they keep them on prep all the time and they make them compete like 3 times a year.
It's very interesting to talk about the economic benefits of
Of course, and in this way you will never grow. Like so, to any bodybuilder or any bikini competitor or any physique competitor, if your coach makes you compete more than 3 times per year, change your coach.
Let's talk a bit about steroids. I mean, I used to be very naive and I used to think, you can become a pro without steroids, you can get to the Olympia stage without steroids, but obviously, if you're a serious athlete and you want to win, steroids is necessary. So,
yes.
But unfortunately, some people take steroids just to look good. So when would you advise your athletes to use steroids?
First of all, we need to understand that it's PEDs, it's performance enhancing drugs. So the silliest thing is to associate it only to bodybuilding. Guys, this is something that any top athlete, unfortunately, and now some people will go upset against me, but I can guarantee that any top level athlete take PEDs, okay? This is what it takes, because otherwise, sports would be boring. Some people now will blame me on this. I'm ready to go into a discussion with something else.
Always.
But it is part of any sport. Okay, now, if you are just competing, like if you just want to change your body to look good on the beach, then you're not supposed to take PEDs. So here as a coach, you come and talk to your athlete. This is of course if your athlete has already accomplished his limit naturally. And this at least takes 5 years of correct training and nutrition. So we can say that 98% of the people training in Lebanon are not entitled to take steroids. And some people will get mad, but some people think they are training correctly, but they are not. Maybe they are doing more. So after explaining this, that you have to be like naturally already completed your potential, now you have to consider the benefits and the side effects of it.
Right.
If the side effects for you are heavier than what you will benefit from, then common sense says don't take. If you're taking steroids only to look good on the beach, no, you can look good on the beach and you can get 6 packs and you can be shredded without taking steroids. Now, if you want to be a pro bodybuilder, also common sense says you will be silly to believe you would be able to, put on someone who's 176 meters, make them 90 kilos of muscles. It's impossible naturally. But for girls, it is possible. girls can turn pro naturally. Of course, if the genetics allow it. It is, at the end of the day, this game is really linked to your genetics. But again, you can never know your genetic ceiling if you don't push it. So all these people talking about genetics and how the genetics, you never know. You have to try at least for 5 years to know what's your genetic potential. It's easy to say I'm not genetically gifted. For example, my calves are not growing because I'm not gifted genetically. Like any muscle in your body is based on your genetics. Even your eyes, your nose, anything, it's in your DNA. But you can take measures. Some muscles will take more time for you to grow. At the end of the day, it's all genetics. So nothing. It's not like you're not growing because of your genetics. You're just lazy. So coming back to steroids, it is a part of the game. Just like anything else, it has severe side effects if you're ignorant. Anything in life is fearful if you don't know it. If you don't know it, ignorance is the only thing that should make you fearful. Just ignorance. If your coach is ignorant, then you have to be afraid. And how you know if your coach is ignorant? If you ask them why I'm taking this, he will just answer, trust me, I know what I'm doing. If they cannot explain it scientifically, then you have to be worried. You have to be afraid. But if your coach really knows and he enlightens you about the side effects of it and he tells you what you are going to do to limit or reverse these side effects, then you are in safe hands. But for guys especially, if your coach puts you on a cycle without telling you what are the health supplements to take, also change your coach. It's impossible for you to be on a steroid cycle and not taking health supplements. And the sad thing is that some athletes are dumb enough for them that they don't want to spend money on the health supplements. For example, I had guys, I asked them to buy supplements. They say, I cannot afford them, all that. So I wait 1 week and I tell them to buy something new for the cycle, like a new drug. And suddenly now they have the money. So guys, if you want to compete for as long as possible, even if you don't care about your health and you're dumb enough not to care about your health, but I'm sure you care about competing for as long as possible, then you have to take your health supplements. Otherwise, you'll be forced to stop. So please, health supplements are as important, even more important than your drugs. And if you cannot afford it financially, don't compete. And this is what I always tell my athletes. I tell them when you're preparing for competition, you have to be financially stable. Because you're already stressed from a lot of factors, you cannot add on it the financial stress. It's impossible. You will fail. You have to be financially stable for you to compete. If you are someone who's barely or on a minimum wage or barely getting money to live decently, you cannot compete. I'm sorry to say this, but it's going to destroy you.
It's an expensive sport.
It is, so you have to accept or at least try to save for it. If it's really important for you, save for it and never go into a prep on limited resources. It's impossible to accomplish the job. Because if you cannot afford your health supplements, I can assure you that if not your first competition, not your second, your third, you'll end up in the hospital with severe problems. It's not something you can neglect.
That's very good advice. I'm noticing that in Lebanon, we're having two opposite movements in the fitness field, like two different categories, the evidence-based people and the experience-based people. And I think what people don't realize is that it's actually a spectrum of two extremes. But the problem is that these people are denying everything that these people are doing and vice versa. So where are you on that spectrum?
I don't know how to answer this because it only exists in Lebanon, I think.
Right.
Because here in Lebanon we like drama, and I don't know why there are two teams. They just complete each other.
Exactly.
When you do a study in a certain environment which is very studied and controlled and all that, there's a result. This result needs to be experienced on a bigger population for us to know if it really works or not. And then, based on that experience, you do another study. And any study is always open in the end. There is no certain confirmation. So I don't know why they're creating all this dilemma as if these are wrong and this is right. End of the day, do what works for you. For example, if I'm preparing for competitions now, already 11 competitions, and I'm comfortable doing my cardio fasted on an empty stomach. And if a study says that it doesn't matter, well, yes, it doesn't matter, but for me, it feels better. I will keep doing it the same way. You never have to, and if you are stupid enough to be married to a certain idea or certain ideology or certain doctor or whatever, then I'm sorry for you, you'll never evolve. You have to be coachable. Even if you're someone who's really evidence-based, you have to understand that sometimes some people have tried it all and there will never be enough studies. And basically it always starts with experience, and because of what happens with people experiencing, then scientists come and put this effort and all their time into trying what people have done on the field, but in a very clinical way. So I don't know why there are teams on this and why there's a clash. It just completes each other. Like you cannot train or compete without both of them. It's impossible. You have to start from somewhere and then you can change and alternate and see what works better and what doesn't work. For example, you will never find any study that will say that girls might need to go below 1,000 calories to prepare for a competition. You'll never find this. But in fact,
like this is what worked for me.
Not only for any beginner competitor who doesn't have enough lean mass, she will need this.
Right.
You're not trying to get lean for the beach. Yes, you can get ready on 1,000. You can get lean 1,200 calories, but for you to get stage ready, it will take you 6 months. So I'd rather put someone on 6 weeks on 800 calories than put them 6 months on 1,200 calories. You cannot always be married to science and no, science says this, so I won't try it. But sometimes you have to use your own common sense and how. And if it doesn't work, you learn also, as long as you're not killing yourself. I'm not saying go and jump from the window because science said don't jump from the window, but don't always be married to studies, and also don't only listen to people who tell you, bro, أنا بعرف, it's my experience. Because these are two extremes.
Right.
It's both extreme side.
I think when it comes to science, the problem is that bodybuilders are not often researched as, you know, the general population, and that when you only stick to studies, you are underestimating the human ability, the body's ability.
Now I have to admit one thing, unfortunately, and this will get a lot of people upset, but unfortunately, bodybuilders are lazy. Okay, and lazy, plus they are very egocentric. They really care about how they look, and so most of the time, these two characteristics will forbid you from going and research, because like you know that you look good taking these things and doing this. So, bro, أنا بعرف. Bro, maybe you would have looked much better doing much less.
Right.
So basically, not تعرف شيء. So, but unfortunately, it's a game which is related to how you look. So it makes you even more egocentric and not coachable. And this is the recipe for failure.
So Charbel, one final question. What would you like to tell young Lebanese bodybuilders?
Just one word, there are no shortcuts. There are no shortcuts, there are no shortcuts. You have to be patient. It takes a lot of time to build muscles. And don't believe anyone if they tell you you cannot do it because you're not genetically gifted. I've personally beaten people who are much more genetically gifted. At my first competition, I competed against someone and I placed out of the top 10. And he tapped on my shoulder, he told me maybe next time you'll do better. The guy who took first place. 1 year later, I come back and we are backstage and I see the same guy. And he comes to me and he tells me, يلا, I hope هالسنة تعمل أحسن. It was in Dubai. So I laughed because I knew that time, I'm beating him. I'm not taking first place, but I knew deep down I'm beating this guy. Because I've always, like when training, I visualized him. In my head, I wanted to beat this person. I wanted to beat the first. So we went on stage, and I was called on the top 6, he was not called. So we went backstage to go again for the final call-outs. So I tapped on his shoulder, I told him, no problem, bro, maybe next time you'll do better. So basically, and he's a guy that is much more genetically gifted than me, but who was lazy. You can outwork anyone, you can reach whatever you want if you really love it, just understand your whys. If you only compete because you want to look good on stage, don't do it. You have to fall in love with the process. You have to, even I'm saying it, but it is the truth, you have to be kind of crazy while training. You have to do crazy stuff. And now I'll touch a subject that is also very sensitive. You will have to go to failure when training. And why I'm a very big advocate of this? Because 99% of the people, you tell them train till failure, they will stop before failure. And you know it, you've witnessed it yourself.
Yeah.
So failure is a big subject now, and no, you don't need to train to failure to do progress. Well, yes, you can do progress without reaching failure, but 99% of people anyway don't reach failure. So if you tell your athlete it's fine not to reach failure, they will stop far before failure.
Yeah.
If you tell them stop at failure, they will stop a bit before failure, and this is where you build muscles. And any guy who was next to me on the leg press know for a fact, any guy or girl actually, that they thought they reached failure.
Yeah.
Failure is much more than what you think. So yes, you have to be crazy.
When your mind continues to work.
Exactly, you have to feel like, I don't know, you cannot feel anything around you anymore. This is, otherwise you will not build muscles. I'm sorry, and this is why you see 99% of the people training in the gyms, they look the same 10 years later. For me actually, 99% of the people are just warming up.
Wow.
They are just warming up, I'm a floor manager and I try to push people, but you cannot, because people don't want, they just want to, they train just like a distress factor.
Stay in their comfort
yes,
zone.
but I look at them and I'm wondering, this is a warm-up, this is not a workout. And you need to be very patient and also do a smart thing, invest in a coach. Instead of investing in steroids, your first years, invest on a coach, you will save a lot of time. I wish I knew that when I started, because I would have saved a lot of time. I wouldn't have. Me personally, I've competed from 2015 till 18. In 3 years, I've competed 11 times.
Wow.
Because I was stupid enough not to know that it's not the right thing.
Yeah.
But now when I started with my coach, he told me you won't compete before 221. But also because my ego that time wanted me to compete and keep winning and keep trying new competition internationally and all that, I didn't stop. So invest in a coach, you will save your health, your time, and you will do much better. And understand, again, there are no shortcuts and there is no magic pills or magic mix of steroids. The steroids out there, we all know them. There isn't secret components that you have to take in a certain way to look better and all that. You just have to work hard and keep working hard. And when you fail, you just work harder and keep working hard. And it's a process that will never end. And you will never, I can tell you from now, you will never reach a point where you feel satisfied.
That's the beauty of it.
Yes, but also, on the other hand, in this game, you have two kind of people. The people who are never satisfied with how they look, and the people who are delusional but the wrong way. Like, they think they are much better when they look, until they get humbled on stage. And I faced this with some of my athletes. I tried my best to humble them, until they got humbled the very hard way on stage.
They lost.
They lost in a very bad way.
Yeah.
And I knew it. And me personally as a coach, I wanted it to happen. Because this is the only way to learn. Me, for example, my first competition, I was crazy to do it. I chose an international competition. It was my first one. And if you look at the videos now, I was just standing on stage. I didn't even pose. I didn't know what to do. So, but I just did it. But I didn't think I would go and beat all these guys in an international competition. I would be delusional. It's my first time competing against people who have 10 years experience above me. I would be really stupid to think if I can beat them. And when I said experience, I remember one thing. In bodybuilding, to compete, you don't need experience actually in competing. You need experience in training and eating. Some people take their pro cards from the first competition. Because they trained for 10-15 years without competing. They built all their muscle mass, they have the discipline, they prep for a competition with a smart coach who taught them how to really pose. And they won. And I want to touch about posing also. Train to pose. This is, actually it's a performance. In any sport you train and then you go perform. Our performance is posing. This is where you win or you lose. I don't care how you look. If you cannot hold your poses, you will lose. I've personally beaten guys only because I pose not only better, but I have better endurance in posing. So you have to train, you have to hold your poses. Also girls, it's not easy, like you see us smiling and all that, but you know that it's the hardest thing to do. So train on posing, be consistent, do your cardio of season, don't fall into traps thinking that there are shortcuts. If your coach is dumb enough not to be able to explain why he's giving you something, to drop them and find another coach. And don't believe everything you see on social media. Bodybuilders don't look lean all year round. It's a myth. And if they do, they are doing unhealthy things.
Thank you for this, Charbel. That's very inspirational. And thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to know more about bodybuilding and the whole process, follow Charbel on Instagram.
Thank you.